Okay, so tonight, I'm talking about fear and anxiety, and it was requested from a woman I went to school with, and I can say I'm proud to call her my friend. And with her permission, she did want me, or say it was okay to use her name. So Audrey Lewis. I believe it was Sanders. I feel like such a jerk because I believe it's Sanders. And just for the record, just so we can clear things up really quick, I think I was mean to you in school. I don't regret it because I don't believe in regret because there's nothing that I can do to change it. But definitely, just want to throw that out there that if I was ever mean to you or any of you, sorry. But now that that's thrown out there, Audrey has this issue with fear and anxiety almost to the point where it's crippling her daily life, and wanted to know what I thought about it. And like I said, I'm not a doctor. And please don't stop taking your medication because Katie from school said that you don't need it. That's not my choice. That's not my call. You take your medicine. But I do believe that there's other ways. I take medicine. I'll say that. I do for anxiety. But I've learned to kind of cut it in half. So you're not the only one. I mean, there's plenty of you. You're not the only one. I do take medicine for anxiety. I just have learned to cut the dosage a little bit at a time so it doesn't control me. Okay, so with the worrying that I'd asked you what you worried about, and you had said that you worry all day, all night, every day that your husband's going to get killed in the oil field or he's going to die out there. And reasonable, I mean, it's a reasonable thought, not something that should permeate your mind. The kid's dad, he worked for Bearcat, and I don't know, probably several others, but I do know the oil field. We all do. We all know what it entails, and it's a rough life. But worrying to the point where you take away from yourself or your kids, that's not healthy. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for your kids. And I hate to say it, but it's not healthy for your husband. I knew Josh. I don't know him anymore, but I knew him when we were growing up. And in looking at your pictures on Facebook, and you guys have a great family. Everybody has their issues. I don't know what all of yours are, but we all have them, so it really doesn't matter what they are. He loves you, and you love him. You guys have beautiful kids, and again, you guys have been together a long time. So worrying that he's gonna die out there, that puts a lot of pressure on him, I would say, because not only is he trying to function with a little bit of sleep on those rigs, but he's also thinking about the fact that he's trying to make money for the family, and there's not much work in Farmington or Aztec except for the oil field. And so not only is he greasy and dealing with those loud machines and roughnecking, he's also, in the back of his mind, got his wife that keeps feeding her own head that he's not coming home. He's not coming home. He's not coming home. Something's going to happen to him. And all I can say is that worry has never added any amount of time to anyone's life. It's never saved anybody's life. If anything, it has killed people. Worry has killed people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with you worrying, or being concerned with safety out in the oil fields, because it's definitely scary. It's real. And I think that it's good and healthy to convey that you love him and you're concerned for him, but not so much that you can't live, like your existence is based around him, because then he has this weight of the money, the house, the making you happy. And what if something happens to me and my wife can't raise my kids? She can't function without me. And I think that you're just devoting too much of your inner peace to worrying about something that hasn't happened. It might not happen. It won't happen. Anything's possible, but I think that you need to turn your worry around and start devoting it to something that makes you happy, something you like to do. And like I guess I don't know who wrote the story. I don't know where it came from. All I can say is that it's not mine. But and it goes that a man finds himself locked in a walk-in freezer. He is convinced that he will die. He gets locked in and he begins writing letters. And his letters end with a final passage where he is saying he cannot write anymore because his fingers are beginning to freeze. When they find him dead, not only did they find the letters, but they discover that the freezer's temperature never dropped below 50 degrees. Thus, the man pretty much psychologically worried himself to death. And the expression worried to death has more truth in it than you or I would think, I believe. And I believe his name is Nick. And he was young, strong, and he worked on a train crew. And I mean, and it's a true story, and it's been passed down by many motivational speakers. But ambitious, had a wife and 2 children, and a lot of friends. And his one flaw was he was like this pro worrier. He worried about everything. And he was a Murphy's Law type of person. If anything can go wrong, it will. And so one night in summer, him and his work crew, were told that they could leave early and go to one of the foreman's birthdays. And on accident, Nick got locked in the refrigerator boxcar. And the rest of the workmen left, and Nick began to panic. And because it was a refrigerated boxcar, he began to panic. And in his head, he began to just automatically assume the worst. And he banged and shouted until his fists were bloody and his voice had just totally gone hoarse. And no one had heard him. And he was just, screaming, "I can't get out. I'll freeze to death in here." And that's all he kept saying and thinking. And I'm going to die. I'm going to die. And he wanted to let his wife and family know exactly what happened to him. So Nick found a knife and began to etch the words on the wooden floor. "It's so cold. My body is getting numb. If I could just go to sleep, these may be my last words." The next morning, the crew opened the door, and they found Nick dead. And after the autopsy, it revealed that every physical sign in his body indicated that he had indeed frozen to death. And yet the refrigeration unit on the car was broken. It was inoperative. And the temperature inside was 55 degrees. and Nick had killed himself by giving power to worry. His own negative thinking, his own, I'm gonna die, this is it. He died because of what he believed, because I constantly say this, you are whatever you say you are. And, if you say that, you're never going to get better, you're never going to get healthy, you're never going to lose weight, you're never going to, never. I've seen never, and, it's not that big. Like I said, I think that you have a very legitimate, question, and many people have the same thing. And I've worried, but I guess for lack of a better way to put it, it's not that I don't care, it's that I'm tired. I'm tired of worrying what people are going to think about me. Or I know that I'm good to people. I know that I love my children. And I know I love my husband. I love my sisters. It's funny because whenever I was a kid, I'm so emotional. Like I used to be an emotional child too, and I would lay on my mom's bed with her, and I would get this feeling, and I would say, Mom, I never want you to die. Please don't ever leave me. And she'd say, baby, I'm not gonna die. I'll never leave you. And I can hear it now. But I would cry, and this was several times. Several times I would cry, and I was just convinced that my mom was gonna die, and how could I live without her? And and all the time that I got in trouble and never wanted to be home, she did die. She did die. And I was 16 years old, and it's probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, and one of the worst, because I lost, my best friend. I lost my mother, and she was a great mother. But I realized that you cannot control God. You cannot control what's going to happen. It's not your place. And I don't mean to say it brashly, but you're not that powerful. I'm not that powerful. But I do believe that we are pulled towards whatever we're thinking about. And I remember being so angry for so long, and I look back at Facebook 6 years ago today, and I was so angry, this bitch cut in front of me, and I don't know what's wrong with people. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear, you being ugly and mean, and I saw something in myself that I didn't like. And I don't know. I think that with your fear, I think fear is a good thing. I mean, it's a healthy thing. But I can never remember the movie that it came from, but I've never heard it put better. It's the Will Smith movie with his son, but he says fear is not real. And I heard that and I had to rewind it or whatever whatever it is now, since we don't have VCRs. But hey, rewind. We're gonna use that word. But because I was so just taken back by what he said, and he said, fear is not real. It's like something we manifest in our minds of a possibility that may or may not ever happen. It's not real. It's good to be cautious and be aware, but I really believe that fear is not real. It's not a real emotion. I mean, we can definitely bring it out of us, but it's not something that we have to, like, sadness or happy. I think that fear is like a mimicked emotion. It's not real. We can sit here and think, oh my gosh, what if I get breast cancer? What if that cough is, something more? What if I have skin cancer? What if? And I'm sure that if we what if enough, it's probably coming. But if we change our what if into, not a question, but more of, what if they're wrong? What if, whatever people are saying about me or thinking about me are wrong? I'm going to be healthy. My husband's going to be fine. And I looked at your Facebook, and I can't sit here and say that I hang out with you because I'm not there. Yeah, I would go hang out with you. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with you having fear, or I don't like that word. But I think that maybe I feel like you're like at like 100 decibel, and maybe just take it down, like 20. And be who you are, and but don't let your things that you don't like control your life. That's not fair to you. It's not fair to your children. It's not fair to your husband. It's not fair to anybody to let an imaginary thing that's not real control your life. You're beautiful. I looked at your Facebook. I looked at, I remember you from school. And what I didn't notice is the one thing that I've missed out on in Aztec is that I have a 14-year-old boy and an 11-year-old girl. And I always wanted them to be tigers. And I see your son in, the wrestling thing, and my son doesn't even know what real wrestling is. I mean, on TV, but they don't wrestle out here. And I wish my son was a wrestler. And then my daughter, I see your daughter in the cheerleader, outfit, and I wish my daughter and my son were Aztec Tigers. And they're great who they are. I miss my hometown sometimes. I think you're doing great. And your kids don't look unhappy in any of the pictures. Every picture where they're hurt, I see you at the doctor with them. Every picture with your husband, you're trying to be close to him. And it's the same way around. I see him trying to be close to you. And you're not a victim of this fear or this grip that you think it has on you, because you control you. And don't let it. This is the longest video I've done. And just let it go. I saw a bumper sticker one time that said, "Let that shit go." And just let it go. Let it go. Because he's gonna come home. And you know what? If he doesn't, he's already home. And you will be just fine. Because you're a beautiful, strong woman. But he will be just fine. And hand your worries over to God. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to talk about God today because we're talking about something that you wanted to talk about, and you believe in God. And I also know that if we worry, it's kind of like we don't trust God to handle the situation. We can either deal with it ourselves and drive ourselves insane, or we can give it to God and know that His will be done. And I really believe that's what you need to do, because I see the scriptures on your page. I see that you believe in God. And wake up your faith. Wake up your faith in God, because your worry is never going to change anything except for give you, me, more wrinkles. And that's kind of why I stopped. I stopped worrying about the wrinkles, and I'm growing younger. And so are you. And you have a beautiful family. And the last time I checked, whenever you have 2 kids, you usually get fat. I did. And anybody who ran into me after high school knows that I'm 5'3". Think you're what, about 5'5"? And I weigh 230. And being pregnant is a miracle. It's great. It's a gift from God. So if anyone feels fat or overweight because they've had kids, I've been fat and I've been skinny. And I will tell you, the times that I lost the most weight was the times that I was the most depressed and the saddest and not eating, because I was so sad and so devastated with my life. Either after a death or a breakup, not eating 2 weeks, having no desire to eat. That's horrible. I mean, that doesn't make your body feel good. I mean, by all means, I really do think that it's good to eat healthy, but food brings people together. I mean, and I'm always nagging on my husband because he cooks too much. He cooks too much food. And then I've got, probably like everybody, cocking their head to the side like, your husband does what? He cooks too much. My husband won't even go in the kitchen unless it's to eat. But my husband does cook. But he cooks a lot of food. And I just don't like to eat a lot of food. So I've decided, instead of bitching at him for how much he cooks, I choose what I'm going to eat and how much I'm going to eat of it. And I enjoy my time with my family, whether I'm eating a lot or a little bit. I am an oral person. Yeah, y'all can snicker at that. But I used to smoke, and now I vape. And yes, I vape. But I haven't touched a cigarette since January of 2000. What year are we in? 2015. So that's helped a lot with the smoking, and a lot with not eating a lot. So maybe if you feel like you just want to, if you're an oral person, and a mature person knows what oral means. Anyway, if you feel like that is why you eat, because you like to, you know, chew on stuff or smoke. Maybe try vaping, you know, or don't start smoking. Don't do that. But if you smoke, maybe try vaping or try chew gum. But I think in the end, there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. I think that you're beautiful. I think that your children are gorgeous. Your family's gorgeous. And you care about people. You care about people, and you spend time, you know, worrying about, you know, kids getting abused on Facebook, and helping other people with charities. And I really believe that you have a gift as well. You do have a gift if you would just turn it around and use that gift towards something progressive, something positive. You know, he goes to work every day, right? So is mine. And we'll probably talk about that, you know, another time, on how he's gone Monday through Friday, and I don't see him all week long. And about Friday, like clockwork, I start bitching because he's not home. And I know every week that he's not going to be home until Friday night. So I only see him 2 days out of the week. But I have my problems. I do it too. But I've decided to find something productive to do with my time. You know, I work, and, you know, sometimes the kids are not enough. They're not enough to keep your mind occupied. You need something for you. You're a great mother, a great wife. How about a great Audrey? What do you want to do that's fun? What do you want to do that would make you happy? That's what you need to look for. What are you good at? What do you want to do? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to sing? Do you want to paint? Do you want to open your own business? You can do whatever you want to do. And like I said, the mind is very powerful in the positive and in the negative. So you obviously have a very powerful mind. Just try changing what you're thinking about. Instead of, what if he doesn't come home? I can't wait till he gets home. You know, what if something happens to him? What if something doesn't happen? I think that you're going to be just fine. And I think that your weight is just fine. I think that your face, your family, your eyes, everything about you, you're beautiful, and you have a caring, loving heart. And just don't let that fear control you, because it's not real. The only thing that you have to worry about is nothing. Being a good mom. Being good to people. Life will keep going. If you sleep in every day, the world keeps going. Same with me. Just let go. Let go, and just know in your heart that he's coming home. Know in your heart that one day you're going to fit into whatever size of pants, dress, whatever makes you happy. I would rather be, I don't like the word fat, but I would rather be overweight and happy than skinny and depressed any day. I think you have a good life, and I hope that this helps you, and hope it helps anybody listening. All right? I love you.